Welcome to Life Esteem, a program committed to delivering information that's important to you and your community. Your hosts are Nathaniel and Patricia Gadsden.
Again, welcome to Life Esteem. We want to thank everybody for viewing in with us. I have with us again my favorite person, my co-host Joyce Davis.
Thank you.
And we have some guests that we would definitely like to bring to your attention who mean a lot to me in regard to the historical perspective of what they're doing. We have with us Joyce and Vivian Randolph. And I'm going to say right now, because we're going to talk about who you hear as a result of and representing. So welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you
for
very
having
much.
us.
Well, tell us about who you're representing. You
Well,
are with?
We are the owners and operators of Madam C.J. Walker Enterprise, which is the original company founded by Madam C.J. Walker. She was America's first female self-made millionaire, and she founded a hair care enterprise, and we have been blessed to own that company, and we are doing our best to continue that legacy.
Now, are you members of the family, the lineage?
Actually,
or no?
the members of the family, some of the members, along with the trustees, sold the company to my father in 1985.
Nice.
Basically,
Yes.
my husband, who's now deceased, Raymond Randolph, had worked with one of the trustees at another hair care company called Summit Laboratories and had known him for years. And when they decided to sell the company, they approached my husband with the possibility of being one of the people that they, would be interested in selling to. And of course, he said, why not? Because this is a part of history.
Absolutely is. What year was that?
1985, December the 20th.
She knows the exact
She's
date.
got the date.
I tell you,
Yes,
she has the
yes,
exact
ma'am.
It's a
date
big
down.
day for us.
Yes, it was, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Now, you said something really powerful. I had the opportunity to see both. This is a mother and daughter, as you all both can recognize, okay? Partnership or team, and I think all the families probably involved in some
Yes,
level or
yes,
manner
ma'am.
with the enterprise. But you said something interesting, and I've shared this a lot because I am a big fan of Madam C.J. Walker. Not that she was just the first African-American female millionaire, and as some accounts say she may be the first female millionaire, period.
Wow.
She is
Yeah.
first self-made millionaire.
Self-made
period.
millionaire.
Black or white.
Black or white.
Yes.
So a lot of people aren't aware of that. But the other part of that that really fascinates me about her is her, philanthropic.
Philanthropic.
Thank you. Philanthropic
We
work.
got each other.
I know we got each other. Thank you. It wasn't coming out my mouth.
She's got your back.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so that piece of it was really, really exciting to hear more that you had to share about that. So
Exactly.
talk a little bit more about her legacy. She was a washerwoman, if I remember correctly. Her
Yes.
full name and given name was?
Sarah Breedlove was her birth name. She was orphaned by the time she was 7 years old. Her parents were ex-slaves, and they lived on a cotton farm in Louisiana. And she married early. She was widowed early. She had one child named Lilia. And eventually she married a man named C.J. Walker, and that's when she decided to name her products Madam C.J. Walker products. And as I mentioned last night, which you were there at our presentation, what really makes her legacy so special isn't necessarily that she made a million, but what she did with her millions and how she used her energy and how she used the foundation of her company and the notoriety gained from it to catapult herself into a international stage, really, and to start representing the causes of African Americans at that time. She met with President Woodrow Wilson to ask that lynching be made a federal crime, because lynchings were at an all-time high around that time as a backlash to the Reconstruction period. And she gave her money to many, many organizations and causes that she felt were working for the upliftment of the race, specifically the NAACP, Booker T. Washington's organizations. She gave to many schools, many African American schools at that time and colleges. She even, and I didn't mention this last night, but she even had her products or class in some colleges, black colleges. You could take the Madam Walker course And they
Oh, I didn't know
provided,
that.
yeah, they provided some of the equipment, and they could either ask for a trainer to come to the college, or they could go to New York and participate in the Lilia College program, Lilia being the name of her daughter. And so she worked in conjunction with these schools, and they could get actual college credits for taking her course.
Now, was this a beautician's course?
Comparable to what we would call today a beautician's course. Madam coined the phrase beauty culture.
I like that.
And as another note, the idea of beauticians and whatnot, to her, this was a high calling. It was more than just quote unquote doing hair.
I think many women would agree with that.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
And so those that became graduates of Madam Walker's program and those that represented her products had a real high sense of pride and self-worth from just being associated with the product and what they were doing, because Madam made them understand that this was a social service for our people, that it was very important for our people to have pride and take pride in their personal appearance.
Well, she was right. It's very hard to have self-confidence
Precisely.
if you're
That's
not
right.
looking at least similar to your best, right?
Exactly.
At least getting somewhere near there, and
Exactly.
she made that possible.
Exactly, and then gave them avenues whereby they could earn money, and many times lots of money, by either selling the product and also by doing hair, you know, actually using the product on hair. So there was two ways to make money dealing with her products, and so she gave them many financial advantages, and many were able to launch by becoming and being Madam Walker agents. They were able to launch their own small businesses. She helped fund different salons and things like that, so they could start their own little Madam Walker shops. So this was a huge undertaking that transcended the United States. She had traveled to the Caribbean and had Madam Walker graduates in Jamaica and Trinidad and other places in the Caribbean. So this was a very big deal, because she was empowering women of color in particular. But others were beneficiaries as well. As my mother was showing yesterday some of the documents.
Yeah, these are some really interesting documents. But one of the things you said yesterday, and I talk about Madam C.J. Walker a lot, is that the Walker agents, and I say they were pre-Avon, okay, pre-Mary Kay.
That's
I
exactly
mean,
right.
I think her came up with the concept of multi-level marketing.
Yes.
And I don't think people really give her credit as to what that looked like. And because we're talking about early 1900s.
Exactly.
Yes,
That this lady really grasped that concept. So she was not just an entrepreneur, I think she was a financial genius.
Yeah.
She was.
I mean, in that regard.
Exactly. As I mentioned, some books have her listed as the most underrated self-help guru of
Absolutely.
that, and she's never really been given the proper credit. I know Time magazine in about 2000 or 1999 did a article on 100 most influential titans, and Madam Walker was the only African American that made the cut,
Wow.
and
Isn't that amazing?
one of 2 or 3 women. Because what she was doing was important for African Americans, but it was also empowerment of women. So
In general.
Well,
general,
women of color around
Exactly.
the world
Around
have
the world.
benefited from this.
and
You know.
exactly, and it fed right into the suffragettes movement that was happening at that same time.
Exactly.